Hi everyone, I'm David Aragona here with Mike Beer coming at you from a rainy old hilltop, but we're going to hope that rain clears out by Friday for the DRF Friday race of the day, which is of course the Grade 2 Black-Eyed Susan, the day right before the Preakness Stakes. And speaking of Preakness weekend, you want to get your handicapping plan set for Preakness week, so head on over to shop.drf.com to scoop up those past performances. Also, while you're at it, pick up the betting strategies. I'll be writing those with our Mid-Atlantic correspondent Patrick Moquin about all of the races at Pimlico on Saturday, so check those out at shop.drf.com. Well, Mike, I don't think we're going to see the championship in the 3-year-old filly division settled in this Black-Eyed Susan, but it's a pretty interesting race to handicap.
Good spot for somebody to pick up a nice little Grade 2 win here. We'll see who can, I think, David, we'll see who can see out the distance the best, because the longer I looked at this race, the more I just thought, most of these horses don't really want to go this far.
The 9 furlongs is going to be a real test for a lot of these fillies. And speaking of the way this race might be run, let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this Black-Eyed Susan. And Mike, I was a little surprised to see the fast pace flag showing up for this race, because when I went through it, I didn't see a ton of early speed in here. I do believe, though, the pace projector is right, and the number 6 Paris Lily can probably make the front if they want it.
Yeah, it seems like if they ride her the way that they rode her last time, and I realized that she had the rail in her most recent start, but they were very aggressive with her in there. That, of course, was on a wet track as well. She might get a wet track again on Friday. I saw her probably using the similar tactics and going to the lead here. We'll see if the 1 Liam in the Dust is forced to get more aggressive from the rail in here. I thought Lucas's horse from the 2-hole has speed, but she's more handy to me, David. I think she's going to take a seat in here.
With this being the DRF Friday race of the day, do note you can get free past performances for this race. It's really easy to do. Just create a free account at drf.com and you get access to free past performances for every single race of the day. Classic, Formulator, Timeform USPPs. Access those to handicap along with Mike and I as we go through this field from the rail out, beginning with the number 1, Liam in the Dust. And Mike, when you go through this field, there aren't that many fillies that have run speed figures that make them fast enough to win a race like this. And at least Liam in the Dust has run several numbers in the mid to high 70s when it comes to the Beyer speed figures. She's just a little bit inconsistent, and I find her hard to trust in this race.
Me too, and it's just one of those things too that, yeah, she's run some fast races, but she was one of the horses I was kind of referencing in the Open. I'm really not convinced that she wants 9 furlongs. I don't think this is a great distance for her. She ran fine last time when she was unable to get to Paris Lily, but they put her right up close in that race. I didn't see any excuse for her, David. I know it kind of looked like she was making a late surge there to try to get up. She was never winning that race.
And I'm a little concerned about the rail draw for her, because she's got 2 disastrous performances on her card, and they were both races where she was stuck inside of horses. The number 2 is Princess Aaliyah, a horse who's got a nice pedigree. Her second dam is Winning Colors, the Kentucky Derby winner for trainer D. Wayne Lucas. And D. Wayne Lucas has asked a lot of her in the past month. This will be her 3rd start in the past 4 weeks. She did win the Valley of the Vapors 2 back, going the 2-turn distance, but she's another one that's got to prove she can get the 9 furlongs.
Yeah, they got 1.2 million to recoup, so they got to keep running her and try to get that money back. We'll see if this is the right spot for her to finally make a little hay in a stakes race. She's been pretty good in a couple of allowance races, and in a maiden win also at Oaklawn. We're used to seeing Lucas horses get really good at Oaklawn, and she did that, I think. But her 2 stake starts, she wasn't even close.
The number 3, Margie's Intention, feels like a horse that might go favorite in this race, just given the connections that she goes out for and her consistent resume of speed figures that make her one of the fastest horses in this field. Though she is a Louisiana bred who's been facing state-bred competition through her recent starts, and while it seems like she gets the distance well enough, I do think she's going to attract a lot of support in this race.
Yeah, I think she will too. It looks like Winstar bought into her now, so they turn her over to Brad Cox for this race. So I think the money's going to show for her. I also found it kind of hard to knock her. I mean, I do think she's going to get this far. To me, her races are all good. I can see a good trip coming for her in this race. I don't think she's going to be a great price in here, but I found it hard to really stand against her.
And maybe that support could be justified, because I found this DRF formulator fact for trainer Brad Cox. He does really well off trainer switches, specifically in dirt routes. He's winning at above a 40% clip with a $2.75 ROI. The number 4 is Runnin' and Gunnin', who is the morning line favorite, and I think it's based off her 3rd place finish last time in the Grade 2 Fantasy, where she was facing a couple of the horses that were attracting support heading into the Kentucky Oaks, runners like Quiet Side and Simply Joking. Now, they didn't have success in the Kentucky Oaks, and Runnin' and Gunnin' was really no match for them in the Fantasy, just kind of picking up pieces at the end.
Didn't really do anything in that race, but yeah, she did suck along there and get 3rd at the end, did improve to a 76 Beyer speed figure. I guess that figure will make her competitive Nothing else that she's done on the track makes her competitive in here, David. I know that she won a stakes race at Sunland 2 starts back, but that was a slow race where Baffert's 1-9 favorite was a total no-show, so somebody had to win. I mean, she's 5-2 on the morning line. She's all yours. I would never bet this horse.
At the very least, it feels like she is one that will get the distance. We'll just see how fast. The number 5 is Kinsey Queen, and she is the most experienced member of this field, making the 12th start of her career in this Black-Eyed Susan. And Mike, she's one who's going to be finishing on at the end. We know what we're going to get from her. We'll take a look at the replay of her last race when she won a high-level optional claiming race at Oaklawn and was beating a weaker field than this, but she did stay on well, finishes this race nicely. So I feel like she's going to be coming on at the end, and I just wonder if she's quite as good as a few others in here.
I'm worried about that too. If she's going to be around that morning line price, I guess I wouldn't argue with her. She looked good winning that race that we were just watching there. Sat off of a pace that did get contested in front of her, I thought, David. A really good trip, but she was much better than those horses. Overall, her form's fine. She's very consistent. She'll run late in this race. I'll probably try to get her in there somewhere. I don't think I'm going to use her on top.
The number 6, Paris Lily, is that horse that was shown leading on the Timeform US Pace Projector, and she could make the front if she's ridden as aggressively as she was in this last race that we'll take a look at from Keeneland, where she got right to the front from an inside post position, basically dominated that race towards the front end, along with Liam in the Dust, who we already talked about, and just never looked like she was going to let that rival by in the stretch. That was a race that was run over a very wet, sloppy track at Keeneland, so she's got to prove that she can do it over faster going if this rain actually clears away, but she does feel like a horse that is moving forward with every start.
Yeah, I agree with you. And she finally did jump forward on dirt last time, so that's a good sign for getting up to a 75 buyer speed figure. If she can run that race back or improve off it, I guess that she could win here. She's another horse I think she's a little suspect the longer they go with her. I didn't really trust her to get 9 furlongs, especially if they force her early in this race, but she's got some talent. She could improve again.
The number 7, Reply, is a horse that does have to get a little faster to beat a field like this, but at least you know, Mike, that she is going to be finishing at the end. She tried a mile and a 16th in her last race. We'll take a look at the stretch run of that spot, and it was not an ideal trip for her inside, trying to close through traffic for a lot of the race, but she was coming on at the end with those big loping strides, and it feels like if others are getting tired, she's at least one that will be finishing with energy through the wire.
Exactly. She did get wired by a stablemate in that race we're watching right there, too. She ran fine in there. You can see her. She's looked this way in both of her starts so far. She's always coming, but she's never coming that fast. She's just going to stay on at one pace, and if you're going to be stopping in front of her, and there's a chance these horses are stopping in front of her, she'll get this distance as well as anybody.
In terms of pure talent, Mike, I think the number 8, Amarth, ranks among the highest of the fillies in this race. I have some concerns about her getting the 9 furlong distance, especially when I go back to watch her Busher Stakes 2 back, where she made this big, wide move off the far turn, got to the front end, and just seemed like she hung a little bit in the late stages. I'm not going to fault her too hard for the Ashton last time. That was a tougher field than this, but she's got to get the 9 furlongs.
Yeah, I'm worried about the distance with her, too. I like you, I don't care about the Ashland. I'm going to take a little bit of a maybe different view of her Busher than you are, only because I feel like Carmouche went too early in that race. I think he pushed the button too soon, and I think it cost her at the end of that race. You know, the 1-turn mile, I think, is probably a better distance for her, but maybe she can get the 9 against a field like this one, because like you, I think she's one of the more talented fillies in here.
Rounding out the field on the outside is the number 9, Moon Cash, is going to be one of the bigger prices in here. She did hit the wire last time with Reply, the horse we already talked about from the Brittany Russell barn, and she's going to be a much bigger price than that horse. I just wonder if there's quite as much upside here, Mike, because it felt like maybe that was the best that we could get out of her last time, and I wonder if there's a further step forward there.
I kind of agree with you there. I mean, she's in really good form right now. I will not knock her connections for wanting to step her up and try one more time in a major race here. Her last 3 races are good. I just wasn't convinced they're good enough to beat this field.
Well, everybody, before we get to our top picks, make sure to like this video and also subscribe to the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the future videos that Mike and I record this week as we try to dodge the rain. Mike, where'd you go in this Black-Eyed Susan?
I'm just going to take Amarth on top of the number 8 here. I'm just going to hope that she gets this distance. We already talked about it, David. I'm a little concerned she doesn't really want to go this far, but I really thought she'd move forward in a big way in the Busher 2 starts back, and I don't care about her last race. She fits way better here.
Yeah, and I put the number 6, Paris Lily, on top because I was thinking that some of the connections are going to be a little bit concerned about these horses getting the distance, maybe won't get so aggressive coming out of the starting gate, and perhaps she can make an easy lead and take this field from gate to wire. So it's the number 6, Paris Lily for me, and the number 8, Amarth for Mike in the DRF Friday race of the day, the Grade 2 Black-Eyed Susan. Good luck if you're playing the races later this week.